I'm Sean Stapleton. I think we pretty much know everybody by now. Again, I'll do this as fast as possible. I'm really excited to be here. You got some of the classiest class acts in automotive here, in my opinion. So I'm going to take a totally different approach. This is not going to be specific to VIN Solutions. This is what I've been addicted to the car business. I've been 12 years old. I still have a dealer's license today. I've been blessed to have 5 different organizations in automotive. 2 of them were the fastest growing in their market share. Created a company called Who's Calling, sold it to Rentals. What I took away from this conference so far is the caliber of the people in this industry is amazing. Obviously there's a lot of snake oils people, but the people that you want to work with, you can kind of find your way through that pretty easily. What I'd like to do is I'd like to have an interactive presentation. So that means interactive. So that means even Mr. Patrick Kelly's got to stay awake now for me, right? Because what I'd like to do is explain the 10 things that are going to change the car business, right? And I'm going to challenge you all on this. So let's start. Number 1, the biggest thing you're going to see in automotive, period, end of story, we already see it, is software and system integration. I can give you example after example after example after example, but basically, you know, in information technology systems, it's the process of linking together different computing systems and software applications, right? The concept is today, think about how many vendors you have. How many people here have somebody that takes their own pictures, right? How many uses an outsourced picture firm? You have an ILM, you have a CRM, you have a desking tool, you have somebody that's probably doing your campaign management, you have someone that's doing probably your incentives, you probably have somebody that's doing your mobile sites, you might have a social company, right? All of these things, they're not integrated. So they're significantly inefficient. Can you give me some examples of some integration things that are competitive advantages? How about being able to see open opcodes in your inventory in real time? How about being able to see if someone's actually on your website in real time, what piece of inventory they're looking at in real time? How about being able to see the marketing piece they received in the last 30 days? So when they call Mr. Kelly and say, hey, Mr. Kelly, I got your fantastic marketing piece. You know what Mr. Kelly is at this point? He's Columbo. He's going, I wonder if it's the one with a bicycle at the top or the black F-150, because you have no idea. Well, that's illogical to me. Why wouldn't you, when you spend that money, why wouldn't you upload that marketing piece into your product so you can see they have the one with the black F-150 and it comes with $250 towards a spa discount or whatever your theme or your offer is, right? Why aren't we giving our software the level of sophistication it needs to stay in the now business? Because the auto industry is the now business. There's several vendors have already said this, but guys and gals, we look at over 12 million impressions every 30 days. When somebody submits a lead, they actually want to buy a car. They really do want to buy a car. And I think, you know, KBB did a good job, Jared, showing that when they contact your dealership, they're no longer a shopper. Get it through your head. They're a what? Buyer. They're a buyer. They're not a shopper. They've already done the qualifications. They've already done the thing that KPA just talked about. They've checked your reputation. They've gone to your website. Hopefully you've passed all those tests already, right? Can you give me ideas of more integration? How about sales processes related to make, model, trim? How about sales processes related by lead source? Why is it logical to me that someone that has $1 million worth of customer value has bought 12 or 14 cars from you, should then the next lead they submit go to a green P? Would you do that, Patrick? No way, would you? No way. But you know what? Dealers are doing this all the time. How come we're not equity mining every single car that comes in for service every single day? It's the #1 return on investment campaign in automotive and has been for more than 10 years. Does anybody want to dispute that? What is number 2? Second chance app code decline. If I walk into your store and you alert me that I have, you know, the penny I stick it in and Lincoln's head is only this deep, right? You've alerted me to something that's an issue. I might not socially have the ability. I might need to check with my partner. I might need to check with my brother. I might need to make sure the car fits in my garage, whatever your criteria is. But you've alerted me to this need now, right? So it's funny that so many people are relying on their salespeople to do this. It shouldn't be that way. And we'll get into this further and further. The number 2 biggest thing that's going to change in automotive is inventory and how we look at how we find it. The data is here to help us find, review, and buy inventory. You know, my friend Dale Pollack created a new, basically, category in automotive, and it's the ability to understand your inventory at a bit different level, right? Well, it's not going to stop. Things you're going to see that keep going further are, you're going to start to see more analysis. Look, today, you have the ability to understand things like scarcity reports, auction data, sold reports, customer wish lists. Does anybody know what a customer wish list is? When I call into your store and say, do you have a pink H2 with a 6-inch lift kit? And you say no, is that it? No, you don't. A good operator like yourself say, hey, I can get you one of those, right? I know you'd never let me off the phone. I absolutely can get one. It might take me up to 3 days. Good people are going to grab that information, check the auction right now in real time, see what's going through the chute. We can do that right now from our iPhone, right? How about the ability to understand things like registration data, Carfax data, warranty information? Things that are going to change in inventory are dynamic comments. You're not going to be writing your comments. How many people here are writing comments for new and used every day? It's a huge job. If you are not changing your comments at least 2 to 4 times a month, you're losing too much SEO value. Most people say to me what? You said it earlier. It's hard. The incentives change on Thursday at 5. Well, why isn't your technology in real time changing the descriptions on all of your cars based on the OEM incentives? There is no reason why. You know, I had a turn process. When I sold the company Who's Calling to Reynolds, I had a 9-month non-compete. We got involved in the Chevy store. The richest car dealer in the world is in Minnesota. They decided they were just basically going to own and buy market share. The only way we could compete with them, since I had very, very little capital compared to them, was inventory turns. But my inventory turn strategy wasn't to get to 30 days and figure out what was wrong with it. My inventory strategy was implemented daily. How many views, how many looks, what's going on, how did I make my product look unique? Otherwise you are selling a commodity. When you get in the commodities game, commodities about the lowest price. Is that fair? It totally is. So let's stand out. So what do we know? You're going to start to see things like professionally written contract writers. They're going to come in and they're going to present the content that gets you excited about the car. Today we're doing this with technology. Soon you're going to start to see things like your warranty information. You're going to start to see scarcity reports. Val, this is 1 of 3 in a 150-mile radius of your store. That's real. What people don't realize about the car business is none of us are shopping in our primary marketing areas anymore. This is the internet. There is no primary marketing area anymore. When I show you some maps of some of the people in here and the customers or prospects where they're searching from, you'll be shocked. There are people searching your inventory from around the world, right? What you're going to start to see things are like OEM incentives, availability, profit, credit, bank rates, video, virtual tours, walkarounds. How do you make your inventory stand out? The whole entire goal, right? All together, this data helps us understand what you can expect to get out of your car before you get into it. Before I buy a car, I know that I'm going to turn that car in 23 days for an approximate $2,500 front-end profit, or I'm not buying that car. If you're not at this level, you're in trouble, because the game is being played at this level today. Here's the big one. One of the big rocks in automotive is the new CRM. It is the central platform. It is the most important product in automotive. The DMS is simply a dumb box. So I dare to challenge you. In the future, will there be a DMS? I think Brian's written some articles on this already. I will tell you.
I got a lot of shit for it too.
You, of course, because some of the wealthiest people in America own DMS companies.
Right, and my thought was is when you hear people talk about their DMS, they really don't talk about innovation. They don't talk about ease of use. What do they talk about? I'm spending so much money on this DMS, and I feel like I'm over a barrel. Right? Where's all the conversation?
And I did no support.
Terminal-based or bullshit-based, terminal emulator-based, whatever.
Are you listening to my personal conversation?
Yeah.
Are you bugging me?
So I wrote.
They charge me with the call-based cost.
So I wrote that if all the innovation is coming in CRM, if all the initial customer contact, complexity, marketing, is it too crazy to think that the best CRM company will just move into this space? And people say, well, right, DMSs are so complicated that no one's going to want us. What is basically, it's a P&L, it's an accounting system with an interface into inventory. I mean, this is not brain surgery. And I got so much crap, like Ryan here, smoking crack, it's not going to happen. But if the DMS companies don't innovate, they will just be steamrolled over because a single integrated solution has to be the most efficient.
They'll be here within 12 months.
Before a single point store has to compete against the mega groups. They're only going to compete if they have full access, full control of data. And the mid-sized groups can compete against anyone because they normally have the staff and the technology when it's all together. So I couldn't agree with you more, Sean, that the DMS, as we know it today, is an endangered species.
It's a dinosaur. And
I think the biggest challenge for us as companies is the certification by manufacturers relative to the element. That's the monster, the big element in the regard, right?
Yep.
It's way out of line question. All those manufacturers that want to be able to certify, as the U.S. companies have done, that the financial statements are accurately acceptable by the manufacturer. That's the big element, right?
you go out and you get a company like us, you partner with a company like him in the back, we're fine. The game is changing so fast, guys and gals. The problem with CRM today is the definition. People don't know that integration, it is not acceptable to run an ILM in a different CRM. It is not acceptable. No one buys a CRM without inventory attached. The first thing that started Vin Solutions was one of my partners having to use this product called Higher Gear, and inventory wasn't associated. So it took 25 minutes to cut, copy, paste, and attach pictures to the ILM. That is a joke. You're killing yourself by doing that type of stuff. Right?
It's not exclusive to this industry.
No.
Across the board. I come from manufacturing, and we had separate inventory and CRM.
But if I'm asking you to do a job, why am I not giving you the tools to give you the best ability of the job?
Yeah.
I always ask dealers constantly, are you looking to stay the same or are you looking to win? Because it is completely illogical what many people are doing. I find it humorous when people say, well, what's the price point of your product? It's completely irrelevant. Because if you think my product's expensive, try failure. That's expensive. Cost is relative to value, right? What I like to do after a lot of CRM stuff I do is I say, what's this product worth? 7, 10, 15, 20,000 a month to you? I say, good, because I'll only charge you X. What people don't understand is, by definition, CRMs change right from under us. CRM of the future will have sales, service, parts, F&I, accounting, websites, mobile, inventory support, marketing, social media, desking, reputation management, lead scoring, even your clout score is integrated in CRM. Why is that important? Because clout is the influencing of how you influence others. We'll get into this. But understand, the CRM is the central nervous system. It's that receives all information from all parts of your dealership in real time. Guys, gals, if you can't take out your iPad, your iPhone, and do CRM, you're in trouble. It's not going to stop. It's going to get more intense. The biggest issue I have in the car business right now is, by definition, everybody thinks they know what CRM is before you walk in the door. I can assure you they don't. The new CRM of the future will become much easier to use. It'll allow data to be entered from anywhere, anytime. It'll be 100% mobile. It'll allow for better adoption, better usage, which will result in less failed opportunities. It is by no mistake that this description and this picture is laid out here. It doesn't matter if it's a PC, an iPhone, a tablet. Peter already touched on this. It's just increasing. I'm never going to restrict you the way you want to enter data. Matter of fact, the more data, the more accurate, the more timely, the easier to use, the more it gets used. Right? The only bad CRM in automotive is a CRM that doesn't get used. If you still believe that your tool that you're using today is fantastic and your people are using it, you know what? It's not a bad tool. Can there be better? That's up to you. But when we look at this closely, notice some things. It's not by accident that social media is flowing into what? The cloud. It is not by accident. This is an ecosystem. Apple did a brilliant thing. If you know how to run an iPad, you know how to run an iPhone. If you use a MacBook Air, you know how to run a iPhone. The similarities are there. Apple's built an ecosystem. This is what's going to happen in automotive as well. Why and how can I prove it? Because training is expensive and turnover is large. So I don't care if you log into your ILM or your CRM, it should all look the same. Your desking tool should have similar icons. Your reports should be single store or enterprise. Okay? What you're going to see, and I'm going to make comments that will maybe offend some people, but this is no longer a poor man's game. The consolidation in this industry is about to become incredible. Brian, is that a true statement?
There's no way that 50 automotive website companies, which there are, we were just reviewed them all, can still stay in business if they don't have an integrated data set or data partnerships. They don't have to own everything, but they have to have appliances. And there's, out of the 50, I would say 35 of them are complete standalone solutions with no direct integration. I have no idea how they're going to stay relevant, you know, in today's world.
They all don't have a JD. So the question then becomes, the new CRM of unlimited sales processes, unlimited workflow options, permission process management. What is that? I don't know how Ben wants to be communicated, but once I understand his preferences, I need to honor those, right? And guess what? When I honor those, it's cheaper, I get better and honest feedback, and I get it faster. If you and I communicate directly via email, why am I trying to call you on the phone? I don't care it's a phone business. You just showed me how you want to be done. I need to create a one-to-one relationship with the way that you want to be reacted to and receive this data. Not how I want to do it. Just because it's easy for me doesn't mean that's your preference. My wife, Amy, I bought her an Escalade for Christmas 3 years ago. When I bought the car, I paid cash for it. Okay? They put it in her name in the DMS. The first 2 times they called and said, is Mr. Stapleton there? We wanted to get the CSI and the Escalade. Not only did she destroy them, she sold the car 9 months later because they wouldn't put it in her name and bought a Lexus. It wasn't my car, it was her car. You think it pissed her off? Big time. It was her car. I drove the car 3 times. But every time they'd call and say, what? Is Mr. Stapleton in? We want to see how the car's doing. I go, it's not my car, it's my wife's car. Is Mr. Stapleton in? Is Mr. Stapleton in? They just kept waiting. The point, finally she said, yeah, let me tell you, you should take us off the list because I'm going to take the Escalade today and trade it in for a Lexus as long as they put my name on who to contact. That's how much it pissed her off. But what you're really going to start to see is what's called velocity. And it's going to start to be where you start to look at data points and say, Brian responded to this. So I sent Brian an email. Brian submitted a lead. I sent Brian an email. On that email was the vehicle he chose, all the incentives, the links to third-party websites, descriptions, KBB, Edmunds.com, so you could learn everything about it. And then what happened is, if Brian clicked on that link, we did this. If he didn't click on that link, we did that. If he clicked on 2 links, we did this. Right? It starts with an if-then scenario, and these are going to be unlimited fashion. There are products today that limit you to 3 or 4 types of responders. That's why things like Active Engage exist today, because they have terrible technology. I'm going to tell you right now, unless they're bought, they're dead. You know why, Brian? Because that's a CRM function, not a standalone company. There will not be call measurement monitoring companies that stand alone unless they're going to do it with people that aren't in technology, because that is a CRM function. Does that make sense? These add-ons and bolt-ons don't work. I want one single login that takes advantage of all my data. But please understand, unlimited sales process, unlimited workflows. We have customers that have taken this to such an extreme that every single make, model, and trim set has its own follow-up process. To me, that's way beyond extreme. But they said, you know what, you gave me the capability, I'm going to do it. So the accurate TL buyer has a different process than a standard, certified pre-owned. Yep.
Versus an SHO buyer.
Yes. How about this? I have customers that sell Extreme Highline, right? And they have process based on if the car is more than 200 grand, the process is X. If the lead source comes in off Auto Trader, the process is X. If the lead source comes off a subprime site, should it go the same process? No. I'll tell you good CRM and bad CRM. If you cannot define in your CRM the fact that how the road to the sale is defined and what you did, that's not enough data. I'll give you a perfect example. How many of us today send an email in to a dealership that says, if you're receiving this after hours on a holiday, we'll get back to you tomorrow? Aren't all leads time date stamped, Brian? Shouldn't I be able to know if it's a freaking holiday? Come on. That's just stupid to me. I mean, this is just, what it really tells me is I don't have the common courtesy of the time or give you the effort enough to generate and gain our trust and respect. That's what that's telling me. That's what's also telling your customers. Remember, shoppers contact you because they're going to buy. The shopping process starts on the web.